welcome back to season 2.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Hey, how are you, mate?
I'm very well. How are you, Alex Cutterford?
Mate, it's been a long-awaited journey to get us back to this point.
It has been lots of hiccups, and even this morning, snow. I almost didn't make it off the mountain.
It's trying to push us back.
Trying, but I just, I was going to say I drove like a grandpa, but I get accused of driving like a grandpa at the best of times.
And talking like a grandpa.
So I drove very slowly and cautiously and just waved to the council that were closing the roads and just kept going.
Just let me through, please.
Nothing to see here. Yeah. Got off the mountain. The snow turned to sleet. By the time I got to town, the sleet turned to rain, and here we go.
Hey-oh. Yep. No, it was exciting. Now, I was very careful to not announce that it's snowing because as a kid once, when we first moved to Bathurst, and we've obviously come from Carnarvon, Western Australia in the desert, and so I walk outside and on Mount Rankin and see snow-covered hills, and so I run through the house waking everyone up. It's snowing! It's snowing! And then they walk in and go, that's frost, Alex.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So,
Well, I did the same. The first time that it snowed in Bathurst, we weren't up on Mount Rankin. We were over in Kelso. And I had just got back from being in South Asia. It was like 40 degrees. Drove back that night. We're in bed, and the girls, little children, did the same thing. It's snowing. And I believed that they would be like you, and just looked at Renee and went, it'll be frost. Tell them to go back to bed. Renee looked out the window and went, it's snowing, mate. You better get up.
Hey, snow day.
Anyway.
So the kids are home with the snow day today?
Yes.
That's the dream.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I went into their rooms, and little Till, our youngest, she was excited. It's snowing, Dad. Your car's covered in snow. Mia just looked at me. First thing she said, she's our 9-year-old. Does that mean I can stay home?
Let's get to the point here. Let's get to the real good stuff. So we got the producer back.
I know. we had a bit of a practice run last week in our new studio.
Yeah.
And we did miss the producer. There was no sound effects.
Yeah.
You and I were a little bit rusty on the tech.
Yeah, a little bit rusty.
Buttons were pressed.
But we thought, I was talking with the producer before, we thought we could relive some great memories of season 1.
Oh.
Do you have some great memories there for us, producer?
This concerns me because I was late. This can only go one way. Yeah. Oh, no.
Okay. First up, we have...
Your laugh's my favourite bit.
That's one of our great memories. What was one of the other ones? The best one.
The best one.
Mr. Bombastic, call me fantastic. Mr. Romantic.
And that's all, folks.
So that's some of the quality content that came out of season 1.
I do spend my life wandering around the house singing. My wife points it out all the time. Again, one of our younger children has got the same habit. But there's not hidden microphone. Not really hidden. There's not big migrophones around at home. Anyway, it's a bit of a worry if that was the highlight. Call me if that was the highlight of life.
That was the high point. It's all up from here. But have you... So we can launch back into... You can either give your fail of the week, or you can give your fail of the off-season.
Fail of the off-season.
You might have done something that was... extra fail.
Off-season.
Oh, probably the biggest fail I had of the off-season was not that.
There's some more highlights coming up.
Biggest fail of the off-season, well, combines one of my biggest wins of the off-season. I may have mentioned it on last season's show. I was saving up to buy myself a skid steer, a bobcat, for the new property. We managed to make that purchase. I was very excited. Had a busy couple of weeks when we first got it. It sat there. I'd go out and start it, sit in it. Just go, can't wait to drive this thing around. Finally had a Saturday to do some work. I did the right thing, went right over the machine, greased it all up, had it running perfectly, got the air compressor out and blew the grease nipples off first to make sure they're all clean. Did everything I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
The air compressor is sitting a metre away from the machine. I was so pumped to get on it. I jumped in, started going down the road and had a flat tyre. and on a skid steer, because of the way they turn, if you've got a flat tyre, you put a lot of sideways pressure on that baby, pop the whole tyre off the rim in about the first minute and a half. That's not the sound that I was making at the time. 6 months of waiting for this thing, a minute and a half in, and I've crippled the machine.
Oh, that's brutal.
It was a fail.
Yeah.
But I've since learnt how to get tubeless tyres back on, reinflate them, and off you go again. So
yeah, so you learn your lesson.
I learnt a lesson.
So you got a life lesson and a fail all in one.
I did.
That's generally how it goes.
It does, doesn't it? But my goal now is not to have to use that new skill of putting tyres back on. My goal is just to remember to make sure all the tyres are properly inflated before I start work.
Do right.
All right, mate.
Yep. Well, my fail happened yesterday.
Going through the round window. So you had all off season, which let's admit it was a very extended off season this year because of the relocation of studios, and we both got a lot going on. So we're building the studio in our spare time, and you've had 6 months, and yesterday was the biggest fail. And I know some of the other things you've done in that 6 months, so I'm looking forward to hearing this one, mate.
I think I'm very good at blocking stuff out. I only remember back a few days. So yesterday we had a film crew come to skill set, and they're filming like a short film for one of the new programs that we've launched, and they were interviewing some people, and they were using some of this for B-roll and things like that. And I was
So it's just like a training, when you go to like a day seminar and you got to watch these clips, you're going to be on one of them.
Yeah, I'm going to be the best B-roll walker you've ever seen.
So good.
My role, my fail is just that I was just an amazing model.
How's that a fail? My fail is that I was awesome, so you can imagine what my wins are like.
It was because I was all excited to be in a particular role, and then I got dropped. For it.
You got dropped from the B-roll.
Yeah. Because they ended up using me in a far lower role.
So what was your B-roll?
So my role was to walk in and sit down in the chair.
You got dropped.
No. That's the one that they ended up using me for.
Okay, what?
I was gonna get to be a customer down at the information center.
Oh, with like lines and stuff, or
No. I don't think so. But I was.
How did you fail? Why did they? This bloke looks like he knows too much. He wouldn't go to the information centre.
I was joking with him beforehand that I wanted to do like the Phoebe from Friends, and remember she got a role like as an extra with Joey.
Yeah,
and she was like way overacting it. She's like, she was meant to come and put a plate down at the table and walk away, and she comes out, she like slaps him across the head. She goes, I like to think my character knew Joey in the past life, met him, he's now ignoring her, and she's really upset about it. They're like, just put the plate down at the table.
So you freaked him out.
So I was sort of saying like, I'm thinking my guy has a bit of a skip.
He's excited to be in the information centre.
They're like, this walk in, sit down at the table. And then they did get some close-ups of my hands typing.
Ooh.
And it made me think of the Zoolander guy, the hand model, that keeps his hands locked away in the glass cases. Only takes them out for special moments.
So good.
So the fail was just the way that I approached my modelling career. And
You could make a comeback though if you sat that thing down. Like if you did a good job.
You should have seen. Like I had to walk in. I had to pull the chair out. I had to keep it looking natural.
Right.
Did like 10 takes.
And you had to make it look like it was the first time every time.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, by then it's like, have you ever tried thinking about walking? It gets real stiff real quick.
Not since I was about 2. That's gold. Well, you never know. It might be. You might get a promotion if you did it well enough. Next time.
Too right.
That's good. Well done. That's a good
we
story.
all know there's always next time.
There is always next time. Words of wisdom from the producer.
Yeah, they're always filming short films at our.
Are they? Oh.
What I'm saying is that was my last opportunity to get it right.
Oh, you never know.
So, mate, in the off season,
Yes,
you have been doing some study, right?
I have continued study.
What are you studying?
I'm doing my master's in counselling at the moment.
Hoo-hoo.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can jump into a life lesson. Hopefully, all your studies taught you something.
I haven't thought about a life lesson. What have you got for us? You go first.
Okay. I was hoping you would. I just thought of one before the show.
Go for it.
Proof that we don't
Seasons.
script.
What was that?
Proof that we don't script our episodes.
Yeah.
You didn't need proof, producer.
We've had 6 months to think of a life lesson. But you know, we'll get our.
I forgot the segments. Yep, go.
Yeah. So my life lesson was seasons of transition are unsettling but necessary for growth. So obviously, throughout a lifetime, everyone goes through different seasons of transitioning into different things, and changing seasons can be really confronting, but they can often lead to really great new growth in maybe different areas of your life and things like that. And that was just something I've been thinking through because we're going to see that a lot coming into 2021. I think we talked about in last season, there was some leaders talking about that last year, saying expect to see increased transition in 2021 because of the nature of the lockdown sort of year that 2020 was. And that as things open up, you've got a sort of backlog of people that were maybe already thinking of transitioning.
Yes.
Or people that have gone through a really different season of maybe stepping back from a lot of things and then realizing that there's other things in their life that they want to prioritize for a while and things like that. And so there's that backlog as well, and then seeing an increase in transition. And so I think it's going to be a pretty characterizing thing of 2021.
Oh, definitely.
And already is. And so it's important for people to realise that in those seasons, like it's really unsettling when you're going through a season of transition. And it's something that Melissa and I have felt is that, you know, you can often start to feel like, oh, I'm feeling a little bit uneasy just around like where am I at in the context of your life and where are you going sort of thing. But it's a necessary moment to sort of then open up to the next opportunity that's going to come. And so transition can feel really confronting, but if you can sort of walk through it and discover the next season that you're walking into, it can be a really great thing for your growth as a person or as a family or as an organisation. That's something I was thinking through.
Yeah, great.
Hey, hold on. Can I just interrupt? Cut back to where Alex said we're going into 21. It's June. We're halfway through the year.
I don't recall him saying that, producer.
I'm sure I did, because it does feel like the year just started. And yes, you've got me there, producer. It is halfway through the year. But it's the first season. It's the first episode of the first.
It's the new financial year he was talking about. Clearly, he's a businessman.
And it's going to be even later when this episode comes out.
Okay, season 2 is launched with a grilling from the producer.
It is. Well done, producer.
Thanks, mate. He's keeping us honest down here.
Thank you.
I think that there's a few reasons for the increased transition. You sort of had a year of pause when no one transitioned, so your normal natural rate of transition didn't occur. But not only did they paused, a lot of people reflected on where they're at. And then you've just got your normal transition from a year as well. So you've kind of got a threefold worth of transition. Yeah. And I know even in one of the roles that I have is helping our movement in the western area of New South Wales. There's about 18 churches in that. I've been doing this for 4 years. I think we've had one transition in 4 years. We've had 6 in a matter of months. Yeah. So it's just phenomenal. And that does, you're right, it looks chaotic. But it's all good. Yeah. And it is good. You know, it creates opportunity.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And it is people that maybe could have or should have done it ages ago.
Right.
That opportunity actually for things to stop and for them to believe that it's possible or whatever it might be. Like every different person's going to have a different reason and whatever. But yeah, it's going to be pretty continued, and like there's still lockdowns happening at the moment. So all of these sorts of trends aren't necessarily going to be localized to 2021, just like everyone at December was saying, yes, the end of 2020, awesome, life's back to normal now.
Yeah, yeah.
2027, it's like,
Yeah, right.
COVID didn't actually know the date.
Hey, too right.
You didn't